Manchester United found their superstar. Don't believe me? Take a look at this. Big goals, big moments. Fulham.
Gets an early ball into the box. Sheshko inside the area. Sheshko!
West Ham.
Out to Mbumo. Mbumo bends the cross in. Sheshko!
Everton.
The pass.
Crystal Palace. Those goals didn't just look nice on a highlight reel, they decided matches. 3 wins, 1 crucial draw, rescued. That's impact.
Yeah, absolutely. Delighted for Ben. I think, I've sat here and said to you for the last few weeks about it's not really been certainly not been a headache, it's not been a big deal, it's not been a big drama. I think he's had a huge impact, Ben, and he's making big improvements.
Benjamin Šeško has scored 7 goals in his last 8 appearances for Manchester United. And these aren't stat-padding finishes in comfortable games. These are pressure goals, late goals, season-defining goals.
Does he look quicker and more
He looks quick,
Did you see when he set off? What was that?
Is that always the case when someone's scoring goals? They just look a bit... You just mentioned there, attacking players do look a bit... The weight's been lifted off their shoulders.
I'll tell you what was really good about that United.
But exactly.
His recent goals have been worth 11 points for third-placed United in their hunt for Champions League football. Without Šeško, United wouldn't be third. They'd be 7th, 8 points behind Liverpool, 5 points off Chelsea. That's the difference between Europe's elite and Europa League nights. And the numbers back it up. Benjamin Šeško's scoring rate this season, a goal every 164 minutes. That is elite striker production in the Premier League. He is the forward Manchester United desperately needed. Against Crystal Palace, Šeško showed exactly why he is the striker of the future at Manchester United.
Today, he started and had it. It was a fantastic goal. Fantastic goal.
He doesn't just want to be the number 9, he wants to own that shirt for years. And inside the club, there's a strong belief that at 22, his ceiling's incredibly high. This was not an easy test. Palace played with a back 3, compact and physical. For the first 45 minutes, he was starved of service, completely isolated. That was it. By half-time, Šeško had just 7 touches, the fewest of any player on the pitch. Invisible on paper, United circulated the ball around Palace's box, but the killer pass never came. The cross never quite arrived. The space never opened until it did. In the second half, with Palace down to 10 men after Lacroix's red card, Šeško smelled blood. He attacked the near post with aggression, got in front of JD Cambo, dipped low and powered Bruno's cross into the net. Striker's instinct, striker's timing, striker's hunger. And once again, it was a match-defining goal. The difference this time, he did it as a starter after 65 minutes of graft, not as a late substitute hero. That makes it 7 goals in his last 8 appearances for the £74 million striker. He is finding his rhythm at Old Trafford. He came off with 15 minutes to go, no late chaos needed, no drama required. He had already done his job. The Predator is back. Benjamin Šeško is having his rebirth in England, quietly without massive headlines at first. He's become one of the most feared strikers in the Premier League. But let's not forget his arrival wasn't small. £76.5 million from Red Bull Leipzig. Tagged as a generational number 9 sign to lead Manchester United's attack for the next decade. And yet, football doesn't always follow the script. In his first months at Old Trafford under Ruben Amorim, he looked lost.
Sheshko.
He's young, isn't he?
Yeah.
How old is he?
22.
22. I'm going to go not sure.
Yeah, me too. Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not just because of him, I still think he's... I think he's better than Højlund, but there's just so much focus on United.
Score a goal.
So many young players there have failed because of the magnitude of the size of the club, and I think it's...
Okay.
I mean, we're talking about finishing 7th has been a good season.
I saw him score a goal.
You're still going to lose a lot.
The brutal finisher from Germany, the lad who lived in the box and bullied defenders, seemed out of place. In the Bundesliga, he ran free like a wild animal in open space. In England, he looked caged. His instinct, gone. His numbers backed it up, just 2 goals in 1,048 minutes. Then January 13th, 2026 happened.
Scoring at home, the winner, it's unbelievable. I've been dreaming about that I can do that, and it's unbelievable.
Michael Carrick stepped in, and almost instantly, Šeško looked like a footballer again. Confidence back, instinct back, that constant sense of danger back. Since then, he's been unstoppable, powerful, aggressive, decisive. Against Burnley, the spark returned. 2 goals. And not lucky ones. His movement is elite. He can drift inside, but he can also manipulate space behind defenders. Those double movements when tightly marked. Proper striker stuff. For his first goal, a savage change of pace to win position, burst beyond the line and finish one-on-one. For the second, he read Dorgu's overlap, sprinted full tilt toward the near channel, then suddenly shifted outside the centre-back, created separation and smashed in a volley. Clinical.
Pass, but pass was him. You know what's good about it is that
what people will underestimate is the balls coming across to Shesho, coming off the. His concentration and finish was so, honestly.
He had a long time to look at it.
A long time to look at it, and this is what I've said. People underestimate, right? People underestimate. They think that's easy because it's just him and a goalie. But that finish and the contact, again, remember Roy when I say about going to the basics when it's coming, the timing, it was fantastic. And he done the same with that goal where he curled it in the top corner at
The good thing for United with the attacking players there, it's not all on Bruno now. There's a bit more support for Bruno. It's not always on Bruno to find that killer pass. Them lads do look for a striker.
Carrick then gave him just 9 minutes against Arsenal, nothing. 15 against Tottenham, nothing again. But against Fulham, he showed Burnley wasn't a fluke. Bruno rolled his marker with a silky screen down the right. Sheshko exploded from the middle of the box, left his defender for dust and timed his run perfectly. The pass was slightly behind him, but he adjusted his touch backwards to buy space and buried it top corner. Then West Ham, just 21 minutes on the pitch, late drama, United pushing hard. Mbeumo whipped one in and Sheshko nicked in front of his man, flicked it beautifully into the top corner. Steel nerves, and Everton? That's when he showed raw power. Earlier in the season he'd already clocked 34.19 kilometres per hour, second fastest striker in the league behind Haaland. But in the 71st minute at Goodison, he went nuclear. Sprint from his own half. Blew past the last defender, slotted it home, 10 seconds of chaos, top speed, 35.31 kilometres per hour. That's a 6'5" striker moving like a winger. Against Crystal Palace he showed another side dominant in the air, clever in positioning, tiny micro movements to win inches. Inches win goals. Right now, Sheshko is flying. Since the turn of the year, no player has scored more non-penalty Premier League goals. Under Carrick, he's bagged 7 goals in just 353 minutes. That's outrageous efficiency. Manchester United didn't just sign a striker, they found their superstar. A big money move to a massive club always puts you under the microscope.
Sheshko, $100 million player, $99 million to be exact, doesn't want to shoot the penalty, shoots the 10th penalty, and these guys step up. These players are maybe they're worth a couple $100,000 each. Maybe there's a few worth more. And the composure they had and the character they had in the penalty shootout.
They're going against international players. These are international players representing big nations, and they don't want to step up in these big moments. This is what comes with representing Manchester United. If you can't handle it, don't sign for them. Go sign for another team.
And let's be honest, most players don't instantly live up to the hype their price tag brings, especially when that move means a new country, a new league, a new dressing room, a new rhythm of life. But once Sheshko settled into the Premier League, something fascinating happened. A double transformation. He changed, and Manchester United changed with him. Sheshko is a total striker, but not in the way people misunderstand. He can drop short and link play quickly if needed. He can spark a counter-attack.
With a lovely turn. And he's got the ball away to Brian Mbeumo. Mbeumo with a strength for it! Brian Mbeumo does it again for Manchester United! Can't stop scoring!
But he shouldn't be asked to carry the ball 30 yards, beat 3 defenders in a 1-versus-1, or act like a playmaker. He is a pure finisher, a predator. His involvement outside the box should be functional, not creative. Quick layoffs, sharp combinations, then straight back into the danger zone. That's what we highlighted back in August. And that's exactly what has dramatically evolved since he arrived at Manchester United. If you compare his heat maps from 2024/2025 at Red Bull Leipzig and 2025/2026 at United, the difference is clear. There's still some activity in the half spaces, but now his touches are heavily concentrated around the penalty spot. At Leipzig, his presence was more spread out. At United, it's laser focused. The dribbling numbers tell the same story. He averaged 2.81 dribbles per 90 last season. This season, 1.93. Less roaming, less carrying, more positioning. At the same time, his shot volume has increased from 2.28 shots per 90 last season to 2.75 this season. That's logical when moving to a dominant club like United. But here's where it gets mad. If you isolate 2026 data only, Sheshko is averaging 4.38 shots per 90. That's a huge jump. For context, Erling Haaland averages 3.33 shots per 90 in the Premier League this season. Let that sink in. There's a direct correlation between his shot volume and his expected goals. Last season, his XG per 90 was 0.32. This season, it's 0.51. In 2026, 0.85. That's elite striker territory. Even his XG per shot has climbed from 0.14 to 0.18 and now 0.19 in 2026. That means better positioning, higher quality chances, smarter movement, and that links directly to his new role. He's less involved in low-value creative phases and more focused on elite off-ball movement inside the box. Bruno Fernandes and the other creators don't need him drifting wide, they need him attacking high-value spaces. Sheshko has consistently outperformed outperformed his XG throughout his career. So the strategy is simple. Keep him in the box, feed him, let him finish. When I analyse a striker, the first thing I look at is movement. Goals are the headline, but movement is the truth. And in Benjamin Šeško's case, his movement is elite. He is at his most dangerous when he has space to attack in behind. Give him a defensive line that steps up half a second too late, and he's gone. His combination of size, stride length and acceleration makes him a nightmare once he's running toward goal. At the same time, his frame and hold-up ability make him useful against deep blocks. If United go long from a goal kick, he can pin centre-backs, win duels and help recover second balls high up the pitch. That gives the team territory. But the real weapon, running in behind. He thinks quickly. He doesn't need 3 touches. He doesn't need perfect balance. He can finish with minimal time from awkward body shapes under pressure. That makes him dangerous even when the team isn't creating clear-cut chances. As we saw before take Fulham at Old Trafford, they were trying not to collapse too deep, trying to survive and leave with a point. That created sepantral space. And that's when Šeško thrives. As United worked the ball down the wing, he made that direct, aggressive run through the middle pace, power, conviction. He received with his back to goal, had to spin and shoot under pressure. Not ideal conditions, didn't matter, top corner. That's instinct. He only needs half a chance. And often he creates that half chance with his own off-ball movement. We saw a similar pattern against Tottenham. Late in the game, Spurs were stretched and mentally beaten. Šeško attacked the space again, bursting into the perfect position for Bruno Fernandes's cross. This time, the free header was saved a rare miss, but the process was right, the movement was right, and with a striker like him, you trust the next one goes in. Even against Everton, his intelligence stood out. He dropped all the way back to the edge of his own box to help defend. When Harry Maguire headed clear, Šeško was perfectly positioned to collect the second ball, lay it off in one touch, and spark a counter-attack. He didn't overplay it, didn't complicate it. Simple touch, stay connected, then explode forward once the break developed. That's maturity, that's tactical awareness. He's learning how to maximise his strengths and hide his weaknesses. Counter-attacks are his playground. Fresh legs against tired defenders. It's unfair, but he's not just a transition striker. He can hurt you in settled possession too, especially when central space appears. Right now, Manchester United don't just have a finisher, they have a striker who understands space, timing and chaos. And that's what makes him lethal. Few things symbolise Manchester United's revival under Michael Carrick better than the rise of Benjamin Šeško. Half of the striker's goals this season have come since Carrick took over, and they've arrived in just 6 matches. Not just goals, decisive ones, match winners, point savers, momentum shifters.
My understanding is that at the training ground, they think he's got something special.
Well, they paid enough money for him, so they should do, shouldn't they? I mean, if you look at their forward line, in the same way that, you know, lots of questions about the other centre forward over at Arsenal are starting to be asked and answered because goals are coming. Same with this fellow. I mean, these are top fees that they pay for players. They're not paying for potential. They're paying fully delivered, full package money. So I expect these players, the only thing you have to ask yourself is, can they cope with the environment? People constantly talk about, oh, you leave Man United, you get better.
His winner against Crystal Palace wasn't just another big moment. It was the first time Carrick trusted him to start, and he delivered. That proved he's not just a super sub. He can lead the line. The work Carrick and his coaching staff have done with the 22-year-old on the training ground is clearly paying off. But just as important is the belief they've put into him. Confidence changes everything for a striker. Carrick inherited a player who had already endured half a season of adapting to the Premier League. But he deserves huge credit for polishing what was clearly a raw diamond. He simplified his role, he clarified his responsibilities, and the result has been monstrous.
Well, for the first time since May 2023, Manchester United will end a Premier League game week in the top 3.
United have 6 wins and 1 draw in their last 7 matches. Title contender form. This United side doesn't just compete anymore. They impose themselves. Tactical structure, character, ruthlessness. The Red Devils are now 3rd in the Premier League and dreaming big again. 12 games unbeaten in all competitions. And Šeško has been at the heart of that run.